Merab Dvalishvili defends his title again against Sean O'Malley, and Kai Asakura has had a fight announced against Wiley veteran Tim Elliott. Here's a little sparring clip that had in Syndicate MMA in Las Vegas. Let's break it down. I'm professional MMA fighter George Hardwick. Let's get into it. So first, we're going to see some ugly front kicks from Merab Dvalishvili. But if you're a wrestler, it doesn't matter that your front kick's ugly, because you're either going to have to block, parry it, and stand on the spot, or give up space like this. Kai Asakura giving up space after that front kick. If you watch Colby Covington versus Rafael Dos Anjos, he does a really good job of throwing these empty front kicks that force Rafael Dos Anjos back against the fence. There's a jab to body shot. Straight shots to the body, always a good pick against a wrestler. And there we see Merab Dvalishvili do a jab to head inside single leg, something that you'll see on a day one MMA class. But Kai Asakura does a really good job of keeping his balance. He tried to limp leg there, and we're going to see Merab Dvalishvili try and run the pipe, but the connection's not the best. See how the chest is kind of off the thigh? So he doesn't get the best connection for running the pipe, and Kai Asakura does a really good job of not putting all his weight on Merab. If you put all his weight on Merab, Merab could manipulate that weight. Sometimes you want to put your weight onto them, but it's best to keep your weight off them and on your toes. There, we see Merab wrestle in combination, runs the pipe, and then steps into this high crotch. Not completely high up into the crotch and into the pit of the gooch, but he gets a good enough lift on it. Kai breaks, and this is something, Merab lets him up, and then just shoots again. This is something that can be very tiring when you're fighting Merab. Here, really good job by Kai Asakura. Let's break down this a little bit. He kind of puts him in different directions to set up this limp leg. So, Merab's going to shoot, and we see Kai Asakura, he's going to get this frame underneath the neck and turn his knee out. So it's kind of opposite directions. He's lifting Merab's chin and then turning his knee the other way. Merab ends up with really stretched arms. He would have had to block the knee to keep a hold, but Merab doesn't care. He just breaks and lands a left hook. And we're going to see some good passages from Kai Asakura. Another good sprawl from Kai Asakura there. Again, jab to head inside. There's a left hook from Kai Asakura, but it kind of sends his hips in the correct direction for the sprawl. And he gets that right underhook, and he hoists him up nice and good. He doesn't go straight under the armpit. He goes up to the elbow here to hoist him up. Not too much straight up into the armpit, because then that can expose the body locks. Here, he's trying to turn Merab towards the fence and find his chance for separation. Merab, he's going to put his hand into the hip to try and pull Kai Asakura down into the snap down, but Kai's a bit too tall and keeps too good posture for that to work. Merab's trying to use that same setup, the jab to head inside. He tried to use the jab to head inside, but just as a fake into a left hook. We're going to see some weird kicks from Merab. He has a left kick, doesn't do the full tie turn of the hip, and he has to rely on double forearms guard to defend the return in 1-2. A lot of ties, they'll bring that shoulder all the way across, so the shoulder and the hand has stopped the returning right hand before it can even happen, rather than relying on a high guard and trying to block the punch at the face. There's a 1-2 from Kai Asakura and a punch, and a push even, and then he's going to do a little fake of the lead hand and a right hook that's just slapping the guard, and what that does is it turns the pit of the stomach towards the left hook of Kai Asakura. We see Buakaw do that a lot. He has a little tap into inside low kick. That inside low kick, a good option for off-balancing him if he tries to shoot in. This is possibly Merab just trying something different in sparring and then trying the left hook off the high guard. There, Merab tries to use the high guard as a setup, and we'll break down this whole exchange because there's a lot of stuff happening in it that's very good. A reshot. Merab is the king of the reshot, and he's going to re-reshot into that head inside, and the round ends before anything can happen off it. There he shoots head inside. He kind of held his high guard, and you would expect a lot of the times a left hook returning off that high guard, and he shoots head inside. Watch Kai Asakura get his hips towards Merab's head and then hoist him up at the elbow, not hoist him up at the armpit. Here, if he shot his hand into the armpit, it wouldn't give him the best leverage, but he's going up towards this elbow, and that's going to elevate him the best and lead into this kind of lateral drop. It's a lateral drop, but he's not all the way up. He gets that left knee outside. It's that work between the left knee and the right underhook is what's creating this throw. He steps outside with the left knee into the lateral drop. But Merab just spins with it and gets back into this clinch and a shoot. A lot of the time, when you've both come back up to the feet, a lot of people allow this mutual rest, but Merab doesn't. He'll just reshoot. And then Kai Asakura, probably being aware that it's towards the end of the round, tries to throw a left hook, and Merab shoots. Something that's unpredictable about Merab is he'll just reshoot and reshoot and reshoot. He has a lot of failed takedown attempts if you look at the stats of his fights, but he's focused on winning the exchanges. If you watch Henry Cejudo versus Chico Camus, Henry Cejudo, the gold medalist in wrestling, Only manages one takedown in the last 10 seconds of the fight, but he wins the fight because he's not focused on getting the takedown with every takedown attempt. He's focused on winning the exchange. So he's so high up on the scorecard because he'll just come to the clinch, land knees to the leg, land a little punch on the break that Chico Camus never got anything off, and it was like a landslide on the scorecard. I've been George Hardwick. Breakdowns on the channel. Let me know what we should break down next. Subscribe, Patreon, Hard Tenant Rev Gear, all of that nonsense.